Hello, this is the TradeSite US Stocks, Futures, and Forex Market Preview for the week beginning Sunday, the 26th of December 2021, ending Friday, the 31st. This is likely going to be the lightest volume, slowest week of the year, usually is. But we'll take a look at some of the volume historically in a bit. Meanwhile, let's start with the Forex side. Here's the dollar index daily chart. It has been dead flat now for 6 weeks on the Forex side. Totally unexciting, totally uneventful. Just really sad to see this going like this right now. In terms of the major pairs, let's just look at a couple of them. The euro dollar, the inverse of the dollar index. So it's been flat. Pound dollar, a little bit of a move this week, late in the week. Again, we were closed early on Friday most places, and there was really no action. Aussie dollar moved up a little bit as well. Euro yen, not too much, a little bit of a move up. And the pound yen, a little bit better of a move up there. In terms of the intra-week charts and 30-minute candles, high to low for the week on the euro, only 100 pips wide. 100 pips of action for the whole week. That's pretty much not tradable. Pound dollar was bigger, 250 maybe. Nothing obviously on the last day there, but so we made a little money and getting close. We got on Friday, since Friday's the end of the year, obviously we'd expect everything to be dead, but we will tally up our December results and then tally up our yearly results for each of our asset classes. It's been another strong year here at TradeSite, done very well in the markets. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form as expected. You don't typically see much action fall apart or anything like that right at the end of the year when you've been up for most of the year. So what looked like it was starting to fall apart in November, had that led to a bigger problem, I think it could have gotten pretty ugly. But once you kind of hit December and you're into the last 2 or 3 weeks of the year, it doesn't typically fall apart. Doesn't mean January could look ugly. That's very high potential actually. But right now it's just near highs, or I think that might even be a new closing high we had. Crude oil, let's go through the major charts. It was up $1 to 73.76, still well off the highs of the year. Gold up 7.9, well off the highs of the year, midpoint of the year basically. S&P cash, that was an all-time closing high on the S&P on Friday at 4725.79. Nasdaq 100 closed not at an all-time high. We've got basically 5 days to get there. Let's see if we can wrap up the year at highs. SOX, there's almost a 13 sell signal in place on the SOX. So just be aware of that. Matter of fact, hold on, let me go to projection mode. I think today was. Yes, so the SOX has a 13 seeker sell signal on the daily chart. If you count Friday's candle, the biotechs, lower half of the year after all this, which is interesting. Russell 2000 up 19, also near the lower half of the year after that failed breakout back in October when things were looking real good. The Dow up 196, kind of near the highs. But really, if you look at the Dow, and again, we don't track the Dow, it's just 30 stocks. It's fairly useless as an index. But look where we were in May, look where we are now. We're up not even 100 points. I mean, it's just not that interesting for the last 8 months. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, down $1.30. Bonds down, rates up as it goes, but we're still closer to the highs of the year. Advanced decline ratio on the Nasdaq was plus 1760 on Friday, which is on Thursday. Sorry, Thursday. I should be saying Thursday. Friday we were closed, which was positive, but of course nobody was around. Advanced decline ratio in the New York was plus 1163. Trend closes at 0.76. Puts the 10-day at 0.95. Let me count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're not going to drop off. We got to drop off a low number Monday, a high number Tuesday. We'd have to get some really low trend ratings over the next 4 days to get that moving average down to 0.85. So we'll see. Nasdaq volume, as usual, on the it was a full day on Thursday, right? 3.9 billion shares, lightest volume of a while. Going back, and obviously the day, that Friday, the half day after Thanksgiving, you can see that down there as basically the lightest volume day of the year. But if you take that out because it was only a half day, then this was really down from what we've been seeing. VIX closes 17.96. We're getting close to buying those VXX calls for March. We'll be doing that shortly. Apple up 64 cents on the day. Again, this was a wasted day. Amazon's a $3,000 stock and change, up 63 cents. Facebook up $4 and 79 cents. Google was up 10. That's still a blip on a almost $3,000 stock. Goldman Sachs up $2.71. Netflix down 15 cents. Tesla up 58 cents. Zoom down $1.48. Peloton up 81 cents. Bitcoin was over 50,000. Now let's look at the intra-week action. So we'll look at the ES futures. Again, we're on the March contracts now, so 10-minute candles. And you can see, so this is the week. We had 4 days, right? So Monday we gapped down. I can slide it so you can just see that's last Friday's close way off to the left. Monday we gapped down, closed right where we opened. Tuesday we gapped up, reached down, almost filled the gap from Monday. We did fill the after hours gap from Monday. And then came up, filled that gap from Friday's close. And basically at this point we're up a couple points for the week. Wednesday's a flat opening and went higher. Thursday's a small gap up and pushed for about 10 minutes. And that was the day everybody left to go out travel, or try to travel, if you could travel. The Nasdaq side, not much different for the week. Same kind of general structure. So we did leave a gap below during market hours. Just be aware of that. We'll see what that means. But again, I don't know if that comes into play this week, because probably the last week of the year is just going to be a waste of time. In terms of economic data coming out Sunday. So we've got bank holidays around the world. Everybody else is off except for the U.S. So Monday is going to be a real bust with nobody else trading. Only here in the U.S. do we do this to ourselves. So then we get all the way into the unemployment rate out of Japan going into Tuesday. UK and Canada still on bank holiday on Tuesday. So that's a big piece also. That's another reason the market tends to suffer during this week. Housing price index at 9 a.m. on Tuesday here in the U.S. Richmond manufacturing index at 10. Remember, this is all the global data. There's not much here. Credit Suisse economic expectations out of Switzerland on Wednesday. Everybody's markets are open on Wednesday. Money supply and private loans out of Europe. Goods trade balance, preliminary wholesale inventories, pending home sales, and crude oil inventories here in the U.S. on Wednesday. Nationwide housing price index out of the UK, Spanish flash CPI. We've got the weekly initial and continuing jobless claims numbers here in the U.S., Chicago PMI, natty gas an hour in, Japan's on bank holiday, China's got their manufacturing PMI number, and then remember, Germany's closed. They're the only smart ones on Friday. By rule, the U.S. will be open on the last day of the year if it's possible, so Friday is the 31st. Nobody's going to be around. There is no half day. There's no nothing. Full markets are open, but it's a waste of time. Nobody will be here. Let's take a quick moment and really look at that, what that volume stuff tends to mean for the market. I'm not going to look at just last year, but let's go slide back a few years before the COVID stuff. Take a look at what generally happens on that last week of the year. So here, for example, is this is 2017. So you can see the volume's trotting along, but I'm going to slide it over here so you can just see to the end of the year. You look at those last dots all the way over there. Those 5 low dots are basically the week between Christmas and New Year's, and you can see how low they were compared to most of the days at the time. We're averaging 2 billion shares. Suddenly it drops down to 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 in that range. Not very interesting. Same thing happens in 2016. Look at the last 4 days of the year compared to where we were all the rest of the year, the far right there. So this is what typically happens. Nobody's around, nobody's trading, everything's set. They just want the markets to close, print their bonuses for the year, especially when you're going out on highs like this, and go from there. So would not expect much of a week. I did my scans, didn't see much on the stock side. We'll call it from the tape. I have a couple that I see potentially. But again, with everything except for the U.S. basically closed on Monday. Monday probably won't be interesting. Tuesday with UK and Canada still closed. Who knows? Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. People will be gone Thursday and Friday for the holiday, or for the New Year's Day weekend. So don't expect much. And obviously January shows up and then we get back to work for reals. I do expect some fireworks in January. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week and a happy end of the year and a happy new year.